All right, today we're making potatoes au gratin. We need a half a cup of chopped onion. The recipe calls for like 5 cups of potatoes. I do about 8 cups of sliced thin potatoes, 2 cups of milk. It calls for 1 cup of cheddar cheese. I like cheese, so we put 2 cups in. We do 3 tablespoons of flour, a teaspoon and a half of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, and 3 tablespoons of butter. A buttered dish to put it in, and a pot to boil and get the potatoes ready. We're going to preset the oven to 350 and let it warm up. All right, we're going to start by putting the pot on a low heat and melting the butter. Once that melts, we're going to add our salt, our pepper, and our flour to make a little roux. And we'll get that going. We'll show you that in a minute.
Right.
All right, now that we've melted our butter on a low heat, what we're going to do is we're going to add our flour, salt, and pepper. And we're going to mix that up until it gets all combined and thick into like a roux. And just want to get nice and mixed. Now that we've got the into a room, up the heat a little bit, and we're going to mix our water in slowly and get it in there until it brings up a boil. Don't mind the noise in the background. That's just my family. It's Easter, so you know they're loud and obnoxious. But now that we've mixed that all in, we got it. You want to sort of want to mix your milk in a little slower than I did, but get it in there. Make sure it's all mixed up. And then once it's in there, we're going to let that get to a boil. Once that gets to a boil, then we will move on to our next step.
Go.
All right, so now you can see that it's coming up to a boil. So now we were just going to let it boil for 2 minutes until it starts getting thick. You can see how it's getting a little thicker. It's not just milk consistency. We'll give it a little stir, let it boil. We don't want to burn our milk. Like I said, this roughly takes about 2 minutes to really get nice and thickened up. As you can see, it's a lot more thicker. We don't have a lot of bumps in it, so that's pretty good. Now, once that's thick and we got our 2 minutes of boiling there, that looks nice and thick right there. You can let it go a little longer if you want it a little thicker. It doesn't really matter, but we got it nice and thick. Makes a nice roux. We're going to turn off the heat and we're going to remove it from the heat, and then we are going to add our cheese, and we're going to stir that until it's melted. Like I said, I like a little more cheese, so it calls for 1 cup, but I put in 2. You can put in a little more. It doesn't matter. You know, do what you feel. That's what I say. Cook with love. So now that that's a nice sauce, it's getting mixed in there really nice, we are going to add our onion and our potato. It's 1 small onion, or about a half a cup. So we're going to put that in there, chop it up. You can chop it as fine as you want. I like doing it. I have a little thing that I put in, pull the string, and it cuts it for me. Makes it so much easier. So we're going to mix that in there, and then we are going to put in the potatoes. And we want to get those all nice and covered. As you can see, the cheese is real stringy. But anyways, let's get that in there. Get that all mixed up with plenty of cheese. Like I said, the recipe did call for 5 cups of potato. I happened to grab 3 russet potatoes, and it made about 7 to 8 cups. But for me, I'm like, hey, Well, it's a little more potato, a little more cheese. We should be good. Now, like I said, this is off the heat. So now that we got that all mixed in, what we're going to do is we are going to carry it over to our Pyrex dish. It looks like, I don't know what size I'm using, that looks like almost a 9 by 15, maybe a little bigger. So we're going to take this, we're going to bring it over there. We're going to dump it, and this is pre-greased. I just grease it with a little bit of butter. And then I scoop everything out. Make sure you get all that good cheese and a little bit of potatoes out of there. I got a little spatula here, so if we wanted to, we could get every little bit that we can. All right. Now we're just going to throw this in the sink. And then we take and we smooth this out. Get it all flattened out in here. Mix it up even more in here if you want. Get the cheese on it. Now once that's done, what we're going to do is we are going to cover it up with a piece of tin foil. And we are going to put it in the oven at 350 for an hour. Alright, so like I said, we take it, we wrapped it up in a nice foil here. And like I said, we're just going to put it in the oven on 350 for an hour, and we will see you in 1 hour. Alright, we're back. It's been an hour, and we are going to pull this out. And we're just going to take the foil off of it. And this is what it should look like right now. And now we're going to put it right back in there for another 30 to 40 minutes. Looking for a little golden brown on the top. All right, we're back. It's been 30 minutes. We're going to pull it out. Take a look. That's nice. Like I said, you can leave it in for 40 or put a little broil if you like a little more brown on the top. But I'm not. But there's your potatoes au gratin. Keep it warm. Serve it. And enjoy.